So we'll continue from where we left it. Ejikov cutoff against UTG 6 max is a very low frequency 3-bet, but against his very low fold to 3-bet frequency, I'll elect it to fold there. Here we see bet range, especially with the backdoor. Against his tiny 3-bet, we have to call even if he's short stack. On the turn, I thought about it. I don't think that's a thing GTO wise, the half pot. So preferably check or bet big, but again, exploitatively, I can think I can make him fold small pairs. I mean, middle pairs or nine, not a nine, sorry, middle pairs. So 7, 8, 10 or jacks. I think him being relatively tight, I think I can make him fold sometimes there. You'll see he tanked a while. So I don't know exactly what he has, because I don't think he will tank with a king so much. Maybe he tanked with a flush draw. If he has to call against half pot, maybe he's dead, or yeah, I don't know exactly what he tanked. But definitely not, he didn't call with a 6 on the turn. So much I can tell you from his stats so far. So I thought about it, and I think when he has a king, he might call down, but other than this, he'll just fold. So I think he's a good jamming spot. Here we just check call twice. This is the bottom of my 3-bet range, small line versus MP. I thought a while, and yeah, I think I did go for the jam. He might have missed flush draws, but I don't know. Maybe he even folded king there, a weak king, king 10, king jack, I don't know. But it did. It went well this time. Here blocking his best ace, I choose to check raise. We don't have too much check raises on this board, but when we do continue with mostly check raising, we're splitting, but we're mostly check raising, so I don't think we call too much here. Even with this position, he will 100% c-bet this board, so I'd be better getting him off his random suited connectors with the check raise, which can continue like 7-8 of hearts, something like this. 7-8 of hearts, yeah. A random air. When he calls, he has mostly a pair or a king he traps with, a middle king, maybe. He checks back, but I don't think so. So on the river, even it doesn't make too much sense after I check the turn. besides a few traps like boats, doesn't make too much sense. So I have to bet big or overbet or check. So yeah, I might throw him off on small pair. I mean a middle pair, but sometimes not even this. He'll call me with pocket tens or jacks. He says I don't represent anything, and yeah, I elected just to give it up there. He on this kind of boards with a Broadway. Like I said, I like to check or bet big. Here, he's a very aggressive reg. He has 70% Conti bet. So I think with the club and the queen, we have some nice bluffing opportunities on future streets. So I like it to float there. And on this turn, I think we have an overbet. He might better or he might see bet with pocket fives or something like this. So yeah, when he calls, he has most likely an ace, weak ace, or a king. So when the river comes a king, I think it's not good to bluff this river. Yeah, he has a lot of king x there. Here we called a 3-bet relatively small. I can block bet here, but I like more to check because I don't think he has anything. Maybe he has ace king and kings come and I take another. I take a juicy pot when I raise and he says I don't represent anything. That's why I elected to check this time. It's a mix, but I elected to check. When he bets big off on this river, I mean, he says he have exactly pocket eights. Other than this, does make sense anything else. But you see, I take him as a fish, so um, I don't know exactly what's he's up to. I have some kind of good blocker 7. I block 7-8, but I think he's just. I don't think he's bluffing it off enough here to to be worth calling there. Here, monotone board, out of position. We can check, we can bet small. Um, but against the fish, I like to check. I gain more information from checking and seeing what he's doing, his timing, and so on and so forth. When he bet big, he might have a very good hand, or total error. So when he bet big, exploitatively, I just check raise and hopefully we get it in on the flop or turn. I mean, yes, that's not GTO, but exploitatively. So even if it has, let's say, he has a flush, I have equity, so I'm comfortable getting in with top set on this board against the fish. He might have a set or a pair with a flush draw, like Queen Jack with a flush draw. Let's say he has maybe some equity when he would bet big. So like I said, when he checks, he had a showdown value, so exploitatively again, I think betting small, maybe inducing some time, maybe him calling something would be appropriate. Um, but still, I thought about it. I think he might have something like ace 10 of ace 10 off. Yeah, a fish would have something like this a decent amount of time. So I think I lost a bit of EV here exploitatively. I should have bet bigger on the turn. uh 3/4 or even pot after checking the flop. Yeah, I think that this would have been the best on the turn. On the river, after just calling my tiny bet, I don't think my he'll call with much worse or too wide. So I think I'll go again for block bet and make him call a bottom pair. I don't know exactly what he's calling, and in the rare case, maybe inducing. Because when I bet big, he'll after taking this line, he will mostly fold all of his bottom pairs or third pairs. So heck all with eights, yeah. You see. I think on the river was good this size exploitatively, but on the turn I missed some value. Even if he would fold sometime the eights there, especially exactly in this case, I think it's a merit for just trying to get value there. Here we see bet range. I do have also some checks here against the reg, of course, and exploitatively against the fish also. On the turn on this blank, I don't see gaining much EV of betting, so I don't see any point in betting here. So he will call. He's a decent reg, so he will call just a better hand or a draw, but I block most of his draws, gut shots, queen 10, queen jack, with the backdoor which he would have floated the flop. Against this 10x 4-bet from fish we have NC fold. So here on the river again, we mostly losing against I don't know, a king 10, king jack, to a river king jack or something like this. But we can bet, we can block bet here. I don't, it does make too much sense against the reg. Against the fish, I could just block bet. He will call with ace 9 again, with ace jack. So yes, but against the reg, I don't think we block bet this river. And when he bet big, he just saying here's a value hand blocking the straight massively. I don't think he has ever a straight. So he has a value hand and maybe king jack like this or river jacks and he wants to make me call with king queen or even ace king. So he's definitely value betting here. But I think we have enough good. So we have very good blockers. So it would be a shame not to try to get him off of two pairs here. Maybe it's ambitious when he turns jacks. I don't know how often he will fold jacks on that river after betting big, but yeah, this time went well. Here in 3-bet pot, even against a small block bet, I mean small c bet, we can continue to often here. I think we just check fold, especially without a spade. Here I tagged him as a whale. Maybe, I mean 35 hands is not much. I don't exactly. Yeah, you see here I made some notes. On a strange line, he doesn't fold too much, but still, when he calls a 4-bet after with this position MP 3-betting the UTG, no cutoff versus MP, but still, I don't think has too much air, so exploitatively being a bit deeper, 150 BB, and not having too much of a continue of barreling, I think we just check. Actually, I would have liked check falling here, but I don't know. I thought maybe he has some some weaker ace high, like ace queen or something like this, ace jack with backdoors, ace jack with backdoors with hearts I blocked. Sorry, this is not possible. But I don't know. I thought maybe let's see what he's doing on the turn. Well, let's just call once. Yeah, we can do too much. Here we saw uh, a fish opening 4.5 and a flat here. I squeeze and now the fish is pot. So he could pot uh, with jack 7, with 7s, with ace jack if he blocks some of these combos. And I block also some of his combos, queen 10, king queen, on of spades, of his combo draws, but we can do too much here. Again, after he calling, it does make too much sense after calling 4.5 upon raising, overcalling, a squeeze and a call. So we just going all in and hope for the best. Yeah, you see, that's why I don't like overthinking too much this post against random fishes who takes strange lines. When he has a set or two pairs there, so congrats and move to the next hand. Yeah, and after betting half pot again on the turn, I think we have an easy fold. Against a weak reg and the fish in the blind, it's an easy open on the cutoff. Here we check it down. He just got his red tag. Totally deserved. Yes, anyway, we never see betting here. Against fishes, you can make an argument sometime, just don't play GTO and check this board and just betting big or checking. So betting big when you have a very good hand, not an overpay, I mean a set, or I don't have too much of straights there because I don't open this low suited connector, very low frequency spotlights. But two pair plus, let's say, when would be a board, not especially, not exactly on that board, but like this, on this kind of middling board, when I have especially multi-way, when most of the fishes are passive, I think I lose EV when I play GTO to check my range there. So I like to play just my hand against the fishes there. I have a very good hand. I just bet big. I have a maybe a good hand but vulnerable multi-way. I'll check once and then I bet big when they're all checking. So I play very exploitatively that spot. So here, when even I have check, I have top set, I elected to check because he has a lot of floats, he has a lot of steps here with good equity. So against the fish, I don't think too much about it. So I just play again. I played my hand and I just check raise big, and on this turn we just jamming, hoping he picked a king with a flush draw or two pairs, I don't know. Here, um, we'll play a very tight range against this small blind raise. Um, so not so tight as with big blind, but still, ace 9 would be the bottom of my calling range, and I mix it. So I call ace 9 plus, and ace 5. Ace 4 something sometime also. Ace 4 and ace 5 mixing with calling, folding, and so no folding. So calling and 4 betting. Ace 4 and ace 5 and ace 9 plus suited will just call, and of course ace king will mix. Ace king suited between call and 4 bet. But I liked it to fold this time, even if it seems nitty. I don't like too much, so this hand. Here on this try boards, having two over cards, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, I like to overbet here. Even if it's not UTG, it's cutoff versus big blind, but you see the stats, he's a fish, so exploitative again, doesn't matter which position I do have. Yeah, it's a very bad turn, we should check, and on the river, yeah, we can do nothing but fold. Here again a very strange line. I checked the flop against his flatting range is middling and small pairs heavy. And I don't have any improvement possibilities or barrel possibilities, so I just elected to check. I think the 7 on the turn, he block bets. I think we have an easy call, and he have a very strange line betting big. So he could have some 6x. I block some of them. I block both. So yeah, I don't know exactly what he's representing. I just elected to call, I think, and to see what he has. Here, one check on the turn, I could bet big or block bet. I elected to just block bet this time. You see, he merged value bet with a queen. Nice value bet there. I didn't expect that from a fish. Um, and I don't think we can continue here. He's a reg, so he might check back with overpay, and now against my block bet he's raising. To make me hold a 9 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he had checked also 10, so I don't like. My gut shot would give him maybe a boat when I'm not always already drawing that, so I don't like this. When I have a flush draw there with a gut shot, yes, but just with a flush blocker, I could donk when the flush completes, but on a pair board it's very spewy, so I don't like it. It's a very strange spot. He can't bet small. I don't think this is a thing on this board. I think he should even bet big or check. But again, it's a fish. Calling once. It's close. But I see, so let's see what happens. And when he bet big, we just fold. Here was just a limp call. I like to again to play my hand, especially on position, take advantage and get me a free card. don't inflate the pot. So maybe betting with ace or king flush draw there, but with the jack, I like to check back and uh, take my equity and see what he does on the turn. When he checks on the turn, I think I'll step. On the board again, very bad board for our range, and for our hand even worse. And on the turn we just fold. He will stab a lot with air, with smaller ace high or something like this, but yeah, we can't continue there. Here I can check sometime, but not against a random villain. We just see bet range. And again, like the other way around, UTG versus small blind, it's the same here. The same range of 3 betting like defending and 4 betting as a bluff from big blind. So ace 4 5, ace 5 suited, and ace 10 plus. It's my 3 betting range with these positions. And also mixing, so ace 4 and ace 5 not all the time. Here on the turn, again exploitatively against an unknown, I think block betting is best. Taking value of making him call worst pair and not getting exploited. When we check and he bets big on the river, we don't know where we are, so he just can bet big with air after we check the turn. So here c betting is standard. On the turn is very interesting. He could have also a lot of he definitely has a lot of pairs. Here after he is calling the c-bet, he could have some floats with backdoors, and when his real station would call these draws also on the turn, even if there are boats. But I think we have an easy barrel here, even a triple barrel. So I thought even if he has pairs, he should fall on the river. Most of his middling pairs. So we have an easy double barrel here. I don't really like my size, so it was again exploitatively. I thought making him call against half pot, he would sometimes call a flush draw here with 2 overs. So that's why I went for the exploitative size. Usually I just bet big, like I said, don't really like this half pot size on the turn. On the river, he could have some, like I said, some ace queen, king queen floats with the backdoor flush draw. He could have turned a queen, but imagine being in his shoes, staying here with pocket fives, pocket sevens, to pocket jacks. So it's a very tough spot when I jam overpot here. So I just said, well, he might have some pairs, but some middle and small pairs he should fold, definitely fold. That's why I went for a jam. Especially that I see he's not stationing after. But let's see what he does. He tanked all of his bank time, I think. Here, King Jack suited against this relatively small 4-bet size, being deep. I can call sometimes, but like more on the button versus cutoff or button versus MP. Cutoff versus MP, it's a mix. I could call it, but I don't like it too much. Even if, like I said, it's giving me a good price, so I elected to fold this time. So he chose to call with pocket 8. I'm very curious what the solver does says about this call, but I'm pretty sure when on the one hand, when there would be a GTO call, some frequency with pocket 8s, uh, I think this will be a very low frequency on the one hand, and on the other hand, how many times I'll show up with a bluff here, or a hand turned into a bluff, like I said. I have a boat here, but it's a bluff, so it's not just pure head. But let's say, so how many times I turn here with this hand, or ace king, or how many times? So I think this is a exploited today. I think this is a very bad call. So I almost never have a bluff here. And I'm not value betting pocket sevens definitely here. So, like I said, I thought he would be a better player and he would fold all of his small and middle pairs, but apparently not. So, yes, I just tagged him. I gave him the station tag. So, next time I'll know what to do. So, this was for today. So, I hope you enjoyed it.